they?
Yeah. Okay. So just as a quick before we even get started in here today, obviously we all know we're in a bit of we're having a heat wave, all right? And if at any point in time you need to get out of here, get to the shade, get some water, feel free. I will not be offended at all if you need to leave to self-preserve yourself, all right? I don't want people to lose brain cells in that way. I want any brain cells that's just a product of listening to me, okay? So different thing, okay? But for absolutely, please make sure you're staying hydrated, make sure you're staying in the shade, and make sure you're staying safe out there, all right? We're going to do a bit of a condensed version of the show because, like I mentioned, I don't want you guys to die of heat. So we're going to try and get through this as quick as we can. We're here to, I should also mention, of course, thank you all so much for coming to hopefully the first annual Black Creek Renaissance Festival. We're here because we are part of a troupe that is basically a traveling pop-up Ren Fair. We go all over. Last weekend we were in Windsor. Next weekend we were at Orange Hill. If you know anybody else that would send them out our way. Because the more people come to these, the more of these we get to do, and the more weird conversations I get to have with my grandparents about what I do for a living. So I appreciate you all being here. We're here today to talk to you guys a little bit about falconry. Anybody familiar or heard of falconry before? All of you, cool. Let's just call it. You guys can enjoy the rest of the fair, right? Good? Okay. Falconry, for those of you who aren't familiar, falconry is the art or sport of hunting in partnership with a bird of prey. It's one of humankind's oldest living traditions, and we have been able to trace evidence of falconry back, some believe even close to 8,000 years, and in some places it even predates written word. So it's been around a long time, and we still practice it today. But not only do we still practice it, at its core, it remains virtually unchanged. It's still very much the same thing it was thousands of years ago when we first started. We use a lot of the same equipment, techniques, even some of the same species. All right? Obviously, we've improved a few things as before. Our technology has increased, but there are a couple of core changes. One of the big changes between falconry then and now is why we practiced it. Falconry began as a way to feed your family. All right, everything your bird was catching was going on the dinner table, and that was important because we needed a consistent way to feed ourselves. And back then, this was just as good a way as any. Now, however, well, now we don't need to hunt for survival because there are other avenues available to us, right? There's lots of options out there for you to get food. There's Uber Eats, or you can steal from Loblaws. You can pretty much do whatever you want, right? So we don't need to hunt for survival anymore. So now falconry is just practiced as a sport, okay? We're going to be working our way back into time trying to find some important historical falconry birds, and I should mention that while we're talking about falconry, I am not practicing falconry today because I'm not planning to hunt any, okay? Could change. You know, something might wander through, a parent might volunteer a kid, I'm not sure. I'm not planning to hunt anything, but we're going to be using falconry techniques in a mini training exercise for some of these birds, okay? One last thing is that while these birds are out here, I'm going to ask one big favor of you guys, and that is please that you do not try to touch them. They're not big fans of being touched, and it's not great for their feathers, so please don't try.
Now, Gideon is a very cool species of raptor called the Harris hawk, and Harris hawks are very new to falconry. Like I said, only in the last couple of hundred years. Part of the reason they are so new is because of where they are found. You will find them in places like what we now call Texas and Arizona, New Mexico and Nevada, into the deserts of Mexico itself, and you can also find a variant of the Harris hawk that lives in Central and South America. So yes, they do have a pretty wide range to them, but you will notice they are found exclusively in the Americas, in the New World, and this is not where falconry originated, all right? Falconry originated, as far as we are aware, in the Old World, so falconers were not around to use Harris hawks. However, even once we came over to the Americas and started using native species, Harris hawks were ignored for a while because we did not think they would make a good hunting partner because of how special this bird is. Now, if you've ever seen a raptor in the wild before, chances are they were probably by themselves. Birds of prey are solitary animals and live and hunt alone. Harris hawks are very special because you are currently looking at the only actively pack hunting bird of prey in the world. They live and hunt together as a group, which is a pretty unique thing to do and a very useful thing to do as well. But it also might sound very confusing, right? Because if this is a pack hunting bird, wouldn't that make them an excellent hunting partner? And I mean, you know, the short answer is yes, it would have. But our understanding of birds of prey was a bit flawed. Like I said, we thought they were solitary. The only birds of prey we would ever see grouping up were things like vultures and scavengers. So we thought this bird was a scavenger, and that is not a good source of food for dinner. So we ignored them. But they are hunters, and they're incredible hunters at that. They have really made their mark, and now they are used globally. Everywhere you go, you will find people who are the same. This is bread. And okay, I'm just gonna get bread is our beautiful Eurasian eagle owl. So he's a species of owl, very cool. However, I'm just gonna get ahead of this right now because oftentimes people come up to me afterwards and they say, hey, you know, from a distance, bread's kind of funny looking, right? And so we're gonna get ahead of this. From up close, he's still funny looking. No, he looks a little silly right now because Brett here hatched out of his egg on April 20th. Yeah, meaning as of a couple of days ago, he is 2 months old. All right, so, you know, at least you're not working at 2 months old. Next time you're at your job, you can console yourself. But thus is capitalism. Anyway, okay, we're gonna keep moving along. So owls. Owls, historically speaking, never really much used for falconry because they didn't make great hunting partners. Because owls, meaning they will wait for the food to come to them. And sometimes in the wild, reflect on how much better her life was. So yeah, she had her owls. But beyond that, they were also kept around for their hunting abilities. Owls are great hunters, and they hunt a wide variety of prey items. But we all know owls love to hunt a few things in particular. What do owls love to eat? Mice. Yes, and back in those days, rodents were blamed for everything, so they didn't want them around their castles. They would build additions to their castles to encourage wild owls to nest on the castle grounds. These wild owls would have a safe place to nest and hunt. They would have to deal with far fewer rodents around the castles. It was pretty well a big part of our history. They've been part of our myths, our legends, our stories, their omens, their symbols, right? They're big symbols of a lot of stuff. What are owls a big symbol of? Wisdom. Yes. Now, whoever came up with that is the single greatest PR firm in history. I love owls. I think they're great. However, underneath all these feathers is a pretty small head. And in that small head, I mean, it's an even smaller skull. And when most of that skull is taken up by the eyeballs, it just doesn't leave a lot of room for much else, right? I think they're as smart as they need to be, but wisdom, I think it's fair to say wisdom's a bit of a dump stat. Not really something they're putting a lot of effort into, right? But it's such a lot of funny things throughout history because people call their dear friends as wise as an owl, unbeknowingly insulting these people closest to them, right? And one of my favorite examples, oh, look at you. One of my favorite examples of this throughout history, oh, okay, we're just gonna, yeah, there we go. Oh, that's nice, yeah. $1,500 fan, I love it, okay. Sorry, one of my favorite examples throughout history of this kind of mistake. Does anybody know offhand what the word is for a grouping of owls? I don't think I got the results I wanted from that joke, so. I might just head on out to Alberta and try again. Yeah. Be careful about saying that in crowded spaces. This is Osiris. And Osiris is our beautiful 22-year-old male steppe eagle, all right? Yeah, this is my steppe eagle. Personally, I prefer to instead think of him as the eagle who stepped up, but, okay. All right. Sorry, and a lot of people, when they hear that this might have been one of the first, and then they see this, a lot of people's first question is why, right? Why start here? Right? Why not start with something a little smaller and make sure it works first? And then work your way up to the bird that could eat your face. But for the same reason people were concerned is the reason people wanted to use them. They are big. Falconry began as a way to feed your family. Whatever bird was catching was going on the dinner table. A larger bird means a larger prey item, and a larger prey item means more food. And when you would use big female eagles that were able to catch things the size of young coyotes, mountain goats, or even small species of deer, that was a lot of food, right? And you could start feeding your family and people around you. You could start sharing, stockpiling, and you could stop worrying so much about hunting. And you can worry about other things like sciences, technologies, medicines, generally advancing the human race. And so thanks to eagles, we were able to do quite well for ourselves.
But then again, I have the brain of a 5-year-old. See? Josh, is your card a heart? Yeah. It was a heart? No, don't toy with my emotions, Josh. All right. Mel, let's do the trick. Come here right here. Put your left hand there. Box comes apart just like that. Two pieces fit together just like that. The single action blade fits right down the center. Mel, put the best one in the hole. Don't let go. That one okay. Pull it out. Put it back. A little bit deeper. That's all right. A little deeper. Don't let go. There we go. Look at that. Perfect slices each and every time. My friends, the best part. The best part about the Zoltan safety vegetable chopper is, of course, the safety feature. Because even with the blade in the upright position, I can take my hand, put it into the hole with no damage whatsoever to myself. Left hand here, please, Mel. I can even go so far as to take Mel's lovely hand, put it into the hole with no damage whatsoever to myself. I can even bring the blade crashing down on Mel's sensuous arm, and there will be no damage to myself. Here we go on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Go, I had a horrible accident. Cut through the woman's arm. In the event of an accident, in the event of a horrible, bloody, dismembering accident that has Mel running about the stage waving a bleeding stump, if that happens, take a photo, put it on Instagram. Now, if I cut your hand off, you will get severance pay. Severance! Severance! You know where you get one of these? Second-hand store. On the count of 3, count it with me. 1, 2, 3. Now take a...
Yeah, it's really
At her knee, but with a heart of a lion and the wisdom of the skies. He did not come from thunder or fire. He did not arrive with fanfare or prophecy. He simply appeared one morning on the wind, red feathers ruffled, eyes sharp, spirit unbroken. And Thea saw him not for his size, but for his soul. Since that day, he has followed her through storm and silence. No bridle, no saddle, just trust. Others saw a goddess with a pony, but Wilson is no ordinary beast. He is swifter than mockery, braver than doubt, and more loyal than any war-forged Spartan. My lords and ladies, 3 horses together in perfect harmony. And once more, ladies and gentlemen, the goddess Athena and her flying
turn around, charge full speed, only attempt to beat the living snot out of each other for your sick and twisted pleasure. What do you say? I'm captain of the Knights of Valor, and some of you may have seen me on a hit TV show on history called Full Metal Jousting. Do you have any fans of Full Metal Jousting in the audience here today? Great, like 20 people. Awesome. It doesn't matter, like I told history, it didn't matter how many millions we spent to try and capture the sport and put it on your TV. Nothing compares to watching jousting without seeing it live. And today, inside this arena, you're now right there. Did you feel that energy that comes from your voices? Well, that's the energy that these knights are going to need to hear. That's the energy that these knights are going to need to feel to ride into this arena to compete in the stupidest sport mankind ever invented. Full contact jousting! Sir Isaac today rides that beautiful war horse Thor. Will they be bringing the thunder? It's up to you, my local ladies. Raise your voices for the team of Sir. Ladies, raise your voices for the team of Sir Andrew. These are our warriors. These are your champions. How do you cheer for them? But wait, there's more. Female full contact jouster of the United States, all the way from Rochester, New York. How about a nice round of applause for Dame Fiona Cormack? Training before battle, before tournaments, before quests, knights would often venture to their own village. They would choose one. One lady they would call their own queen of love and beauty. You see, they won't choose that lady. They would give that lady a rose, fight for that lady's honor, perhaps die for that lady as well. My lords and ladies, you see our knights. This day, they're not. Instead, they're carrying the most powerful weapon indeed, the robe. Oh, now, Andrew, you're from Colorado, not Utah. You can only choose one. Looks like Fiona has chosen. Sir Isaac, have you chosen?
Oh, not here? Yes. Oh my God. How? Over around the gate. Come on, baby.
And Sir Isaac. Oh, I see she has banged herself so much. She is hot, my lord, hot. Yes, she is. And what is the name of your beautiful princess this day? My lords and ladies, how about a nice round of applause for on this end, Lady Ava! The warrior princess Isha! One pass up this lane. They're going to try to get 4 rings, but these rings are not going to be on stands or brackets like it is at the dinner show here in Toronto. No, instead we are an extreme jousting company. So what we do is we get our squires to hold on to the rings with their bare hands. That's right. How about a nice round of applause for all of our high school dropouts on the field? Andrew! Sir Andrew, yeah. Sir Andrew has his speed. A little late, TJ, but not bad. Well done. Now, my lords and ladies, you see, back in the olden days, prisoners were taken into the stockade, lashed to a post. The knights would take sword in hand, ride down at full speed, and wacko! One less prisoner to feed. Well, here in Ontario, prisoners unfortunately have rights. Seems they have more rights than we, the working class, do. But what we will have then is one of our volunteers. I need a brave squire to please stand here up. I've got really bad parents. All right, now, on top of that helmet, we are going to place an apple. Throw it up in the air, Liam. Show everybody it is a real apple. It's not pre-cut or anything like that. Place that on top of her helmet. What's going to happen now is the knights are going to ride down at full speed, trying to, well, not just cut that apple in half. That's too easy. Plus, we only have one apple, which means the winner of this game will be the knight who's able to ride down and slice that apple closest to the...
Oh, you're gonna need a hospital very soon.
I need a weapon. I need a... All right. Doctor. Whee! Fancier than I thought it would be.
Yeah, everyone can do that.
All right, let's see. Go. Would you like me to show you?
No. Yes.
It's really simple. I'm just letting the weight of the belaying pin do all the work.
So kind of like this.
Not like that, really. No.
Kind of like this.
Less it.
How about
actually.
more like this?
Well,
Come at me, bro.
I shall. Oh no, I hit her.
I got it.
So, that would be a fun time. Put down and we can talk. Both of them.
Give me Mr. Stabby and I'll put down the sword.
Put down the sword and you can have Mr. Stabby.
Oh, Mr. Stabby. I missed you so much. Oh my goodness. Why did you leave me? Why did you run away? Turn your back to this.
Very well.
Oh my God. How was it running away, Calico Cat? Sword man. Sword man. You do such a I am going to kill you. Oh, I am going to make sure. Wait, Calico Cat. You still have to complete this trial. Don't you want to make your parents proud? Wait, sure.
Just because I don't want to be the reason you get lightheaded if you come into this afterwards. Again, my name is Kyle Wonderland. I've been doing this for about 10 years. It's really my life and my passion. I'm so excited to be able to travel and share this with you. I will be up in roughly a minute as I set up my rigging, but thank you so much for coming. This is an amazing crowd for how long it is.
That'd be crazy.
There's that sun.
Here a little bit more. Ben?